right, we made it. This place is so cool, dude. There is nothing, oh man. In Oregon, I think this is one of the best hidden gems there are out there. Like this is. Good morning and welcome back to the channel. I thought about different ways on how to start this video off, and I did not expect to start it off on top of my car. I'll get to that in a second. Just wanted to say hello, my name is Elias. I'm an amateur landscape photographer. Welcome to the channel if you're new here. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. I like to go out and explore different areas and bring my experience as a landscape photographer to YouTube and try to enlighten or inspire the other amateur landscape photographers out there like myself. So I like to go out in my local area, which is the Pacific Northwest, and I like to travel, and I just bring my camera with me and see what we can find. So if that kind of content interests you, please consider subscribing. Today was not supposed to be starting off like this first off. So where are we? We are in Silverton, I think, Oregon. It's pretty close to my local area. It's only about an hour away. This is not the final destination. I just actually saw a shot as the sun was rising, and it's completely gone now, and I'm glad I grabbed it when I did, but I saw these standalone trees on this horizon with this tiny little farmhouse on the right, and the clouds were just low enough below the trees that it broke the horizon, but it didn't break the tree line, and it had all this color from the sun behind it, and I thought it looked very cool, so I just wanted to grab a photo real quick. And I've never started a video off with a just straight up photo before, so it's a new thing. We're gonna be experimenting a lot in this video, actually. So there's this fence line down here, and I was trying to grab it from the road. I just pulled over, and I was trying to square up a composition to where nothing was interrupted by all these little Christmas trees in this field. Couldn't find it, so I almost packed up and said, you know, I'm gonna go. And then I walked around the front of my car and realized, well, maybe if I just elevate myself a little bit, I'll be able to grab it. So lo and behold, I am on top of my car, and I think I got the shot. I don't even know if it's any good or not. I don't even know if I'm gonna use this for the beginning of this video. I kind of wanted to experiment with a couple different things, and one of them was a waterfall time lapse. So we were heading somewhere very special that I've only been to once before, and it's an amazing spot. It's one of those hidden gems. You wouldn't think so by all the Instagram photos you see of it, but I myself have a couple, if I'm being completely honest. Today's sunrise was supposed to be nothing super special. These clouds, I'm actually surprised they stayed as low as they did. They're gonna be causing a slight overcast of the area, and it's supposed to be giving me enough low lighting to where I should be able to do this. So I wanted to bring you along with me and try this out. Maybe get a couple different other photos. The place that I'm going to is very special. First time I was ever there, I was absolutely blown away, and I wanted to try to recreate that experience to the viewer, to maybe you can have the same experience that I did the first time, because man, I know that it was just magical. See how it turns out. This was a struggle. I'm gonna get down now. We're gonna head down to the falls. Let's go. Where we're going real quick. It is mid-July right now, summertime photography, which is rough. Way earlier mornings and way later evenings. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to shoot this weekend because I had it free and the weather was supposed to be decent. Summertime, I want to shoot astrophotography. I want to do Milky Way stuff. Unfortunately, right now, the moon is out from like 12 a.m. all the way until morning. I can see it right now. And on top of that, full moon was 4 days ago. So the spot I'm headed to is a hidden gem. It really is. There is no commercialism to this spot. There is no parking lot. There is no entry fee. There's no nothing. It is down a dirt road, and it can be very hard to get to at times of the year. Completely inaccessible during the winter. Now I got up super early to come down here for a couple reasons. One is because I wanted to keep, since this is a waterfall shoot, I don't think it's gonna be a big problem because it is, the place we're going to is shielded by so much vegetation and woodland. It's down in a pit, if you will. The lighting shouldn't be an issue because we're trying to go for a longer exposure. The main reason I wanted to go here so early is because I do know that even though it is not a commercialized spot and it is a hidden gem, a lot of people still know about it. So I wanted to get here before anyone else was here to try to have my time here and shooting without having any interruptions of people. So we're heading down there right now, getting to a dirt road just so I am slowing down, and the audio is going to be terrible. So let's get it. down into the depths of this place, and this road is not the greatest, which is why this is not such a publicly accessed area. I highly recommend not coming down here in just a regular car, regular little sedan. I would highly recommend having some kind of compact SUV or SUV, some kind of vehicle with some clearance, because there were some sketchy areas in just this Nissan Rogue. So I never actually said where we're at. We are at Abiqua Falls, and I say Abiqua because I've said Abiqua before, and I've been called an idiot. And I only say this because of just locals in the area who have corrected me and said it is called Abiqua. Abiqua? Abiqua. Write down in the comments. Am I an idiot? Am I saying it right? Is it Abiqua or Abiqua? Whatever it is, Abiqua Falls is this special place in Oregon where there is general public access, but few come here because it is kind of hard to get to. This road is very rough, and it's out in the middle of nowhere. It's probably about an hour and a half from my house, just down dirt roads. It's just kind of, it's cool. It's very secluded. We are here alone, which kind of scares the hell out of me because I don't like being alone, but you gotta do what you gotta do, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to bring something else to the table for this video, and I kind of wanted to bring two worlds together. I love shooting waterfalls, which I know I've only done one other waterfall video, but I also love shooting time lapse. Shooting time lapse is one of my favorite styles of photography, and I've never combined those two together. And it's very straightforward, so I'm just gonna kind of go over it, show you how to do it, show you what I'm doing, and we'll see how it comes out. I also want to try something that I've seen Aiden Robbins do in some of his videos, which is a time lapse of a waterfall with added real-time motion in it. And I don't know if I could pull this off. I don't even know how he pulls it off. I have a pretty good idea, but I'm gonna experiment with it. And if it works, I'm gonna put it in this video. If not, I'm gonna cut this whole part out. I'm gonna finish packing up. It's cold down here. God, it's cold. We're gonna head down this trail, which is extremely steep, and see what we can find. So we made it to the riverbed part of this hike. What you're really doing on this is you're starting in like at the top of a ravine and meeting down at the middle where this river runs through, and you're walking along the waterbed till you get to the waterfall. The trail is extremely steep. I definitely slipped a few times. I wish I got that on camera. That would have been sweet. But it's not too bad. You have some ropes that kind of help you on the way down. This is where you meet the riverbed. Follow the riverbed until you kind of just come into this giant opening that is the waterfall, and it's a really cool experience. So I'm hoping I can show that. It's gonna be cool. Yeah, so let's get going. Pretty much almost at the waterfall now. I can hear it, it's getting pretty loud. Based on my other waterfall video that I've done, I found that the audio actually comes through pretty good. So I'm gonna speak loud. I might switch over to my phone a little bit because it carries audio better. I'm not sure. It's hard to recreate what I experienced the first time I came down here because the light is not shining yet. And when I came through the first time, you had all these light rays illuminating this entire area. And it's really beautiful how it is right now with no sunlight on it. But I mean, the experience that I had when I first came down here was just phenomenal. As you walk down the footpath, you come down the riverside, you're greeted by these big cathedral walls that just surround the whole area. And it's really cool because as you get closer to the waterfall, it all comes together to this giant bowl of just massive rock faces with a giant, awesome waterfall directly in the middle. It's a very cool scene. Just want to do a little bit of talking before we get there because when we get there, it is going to be very, very loud. right, we made it. This place is so cool, dude. There is nothing, oh man. In Oregon, I think this is one of the best hidden gems there are out there. Like this is so crazy. And it's even crazier that I have this whole place to myself right now. Such a unique, cool area. And the way you come into it is just mesmerizing. It is so cool to be here. Now I am here to talk about how to do a waterfall time lapse and experience one for my very first time. But before I do that, I saw a shot right here as I was filming some B-roll, and I think it looks cool. It's a very basic shot, but I'm gonna grab it anyway. So set up, we're gonna take our first shot, then we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this video, which is a waterfall time lapse, I promise. Just to talk you through the shot real quick, it's really simple. I'm gonna focus stack this and probably bracket it. Foreground inches straight into this fern that's just right here, and you have the waterfall right down the middle. Very basic, generic shot, but a good shot nonetheless, so I'm gonna grab it. Starting up in here to where I can get a longer exposure on the waterfall to get that dreamy look, and that's what I'm going for. I have to do a vertical composition, a portrait mode, to be able to get the fern in the foreground, the waterfall, it just all fits together. It's a really cool looking picture. I have to time it right because the wind keeps picking up and this fern keeps moving, and I'm taking a 1.3 second shot, gonna cause motion blur. So not right now is the waiting game, but we'll see how it comes out. Alright, so a waterfall time lapse. Let's talk about this real quick because there's a lot of factors that come into it that can really interrupt everything. Point number one, what makes this different than a normal time lapse is if you've ever been to a waterfall, you always have overspray. You have off spray coming off the fall, hitting you, you get soaking wet. But unfortunately for your camera, that is not good. You're gonna have water spots all over your lens. You wanna make sure that you're far enough away from the waterfall that you're not getting any of that off spray, you're not getting any of that water on your lens. So do yourself a favor, set your camera up where you think you wanna go, let it sit for a couple minutes, look at the front of the lens, see if it's dry, see if it's wet. If it's wet, move away. If it's dry, good to go. I say that, and I don't know if I'm gonna take my own advice because I see this really cool shot right here that would be awesome as a time lapse, but it's rather close to the waterfall. I did that couple minute test, and there was a couple little spots on the lens, but I think if I set my shots far enough in between, I'd be able to wipe it every minute or so, let it do its thing. It might be a total failure, but I'm gonna try it anyways because I think this would be a cool shot. These little rocks, this little pathway was not here last time. I think the water was higher. Second most important thing about time lapse, everything on manual. I'm talking everything, manual mode. If you don't shoot in manual mode, now is your chance. Now is your time to shine. I'm talking everything, white balance, focus, exposure, everything, aperture. Everything has to be set to one setting and cannot change throughout your time lapse. This goes with any time lapse, but this is basic time lapse rules. Everything in manual, otherwise you're gonna have something change. When you go into Lightroom, you bring it all up, you're gonna notice, wow, these pictures look different. I was an idiot when I first started doing time lapse, and I used to change the exposure on my camera while the sun was coming up, and it ruined the entire time lapse. It sucks. Keep your settings the same. Third rule is try to make sure there's gonna be nothing in the photo that's gonna move. Now, I came here this early because I didn't want anyone to be here because I didn't want somebody randomly coming into my time lapse and just ruining the whole photo. The main reason I wanted to be here alone was to try this experiment out. I'm gonna set the camera up and see how this goes. I want to do one more time lapse. I think I'm going to set up over there where there's some running water in the foreground, better than what was over there. And instead of just ebbing and flowing, I want it to be actually flowing through. So you have the waterfall flowing, the foreground flowing. Let's see what we can find. I'm wearing my waterproof hiking boots, thank goodness. We're going to walk through this water and see if we can get on the other side of this creek over here. I have two spots, one over there and one over there. I'm not sure. That one looks kind of deep. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to set up because I'm gonna have to get really tight in over there, but that one might be the more favorable one. Plus, I don't think it's as deep over there. So I'm gonna walk out here and see how it goes. All right, so I bailed on the shoes. I stepped in and it was going over my ankles and I was like, I can't do this. So I ended up taking my shoes off
walking into the water, freezing cold. My God, it's cold. Oh God, I ended up wanting to come over here and try to set up and just bail and let it do its thing for a while. But luckily enough, my feet are now completely numb, and yeah, I think I'm gonna hang out here and actually wait for this time lapse to go. I ended up choosing the closer one to the waterfall just because I didn't want to walk over there at the time because my feet were just so cold. They are cold now, but they're numb enough to where I can just take it. So we set up the shot. We got our 2 areas of water. We got the foreground, which is rocks with water coming right over them. It looks really sick. And then we got the waterfall, obviously the waterfall in the background. So yeah, this is a double whammy. And I forgot that I wanted to try one more thing, and it's gonna be a test run. Again, I don't know if it's gonna work or not. If it doesn't, I'm just gonna take this out of the video. So if it's there, it's a good chance I might show it at the end. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one, and then we're gonna do the final shot, and then we're gonna get out of here because I got stuff to do today and it's getting kind of late. Said and done, I really hope those came out. My time here has pretty much come to an end. I do want to try that one thing that I was talking about. What I'm trying to do is combine 2 different videos. I'm trying to combine the time lapse and a real-time video of me moving in normal motion into the frame. I've seen Aiden Robbins do this before. His channel's super cool. Great videographer, great YouTuber, but I've never seen how he does it, and I'm kind of thinking I have an idea of how he might. So what I'm thinking is if I leave an area in the bottom of the frame that doesn't move, say like the rocks or something, I can do one recording of the time lapse of the water moving with the waterfall, and then I'll stop it, not move the camera, start the video, and I'll walk into frame, but only enough to where I'm only in the part that doesn't move. And I'll end up masking those together in post, and then who knows, it might come out pretty sweet. So I'm gonna try that right now. After I get that, time to head out, and then yeah, it's been a good day. That's Abiqua Falls. Abiqua. That's what I'm going with. Abiqua, final answer. Very cool spot in Oregon. If you're ever in Oregon, I highly suggest hitting it up. It's on all trails. You'll figure out how to get there. Again, do not use a regular car, front wheel drive car. Make sure you have all-wheel drive, and make sure it is at least a compact SUV like a Nissan Rogue or a RAV4 or something like that. Really hope you took some value away from this video as far as if you're looking to do a time-lapse waterfall. I hope I really helped out. If I did, please hit the like button. It helps my channel out a lot. I'm still very new to YouTube, and I'm just trying to do my thing in the YouTube world. So please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Yeah, this was a good time. I'm kind of rushed to get out of here now because I'm just trying to rush the end of this video. Until next time, guys, we'll see ya.